Now, last week, I made a video about things you should not do in a panel interview, things that might push away your potential future teammates if they're involved in that panel. But why be negative when we can be positive? In today's video, I'm going to give you 4 things you should do, 4 things you can do during an interview that'll make potential future teammates think you would be a great fit so that they, in turn, share that with their boss and increase the likelihood of you getting the job. Let's go. Hi everybody, I'm Ben White with Ben Talks Talent. I've got 12 years experience in interviewing, hiring, and recruiting, and I'm passionate about using my experience to help you become the best candidate possible and land your next job. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about 4 things that you can do that'll make your future teammates in a panel interview think you will be a great fit, which will indeed pay dividends. But before we get into the video, do me a quick favor. If you were new here, take 3 seconds, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you never miss one of my free videos that are all designed to help you become the best version of yourself when it comes to interviewing. And if you were not new, well, hey, it is so great to see you. How are you doing? Welcome back. All right, now let's get into the video. Now I want to lay the foundation as to why any of this matters, because some of you might be watching this video, you are, I don't know, a minute and a half in and you're going, Ben, why does this matter? Why do I care what my future teammates think of me? Maybe, I don't know if anyone's actually thinking that, but here's the thing. If the hiring manager is going to pull in 2, 3, 4 members of their team and take an hour up of their time, maybe multiple times for multiple candidates, that is a massive investment. And they wouldn't do that if they didn't care about what their team members thought. So if you are doing a panel interview and there are several members of your future team, rest assured the boss really does value their opinions. With that being the case, it obviously makes sense to convince them that you are a great hire. I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. First things first, you gotta look on LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn, find the names of the people you're gonna be interviewing with. It should be on the invite to the interview. And if it's not in the invite, ask the person who coordinated, hey, can you do me a favor and send me the names of the people that I'm going to be interviewing with? I like to do some cursory research before going into an interview. Once you have their names, go to LinkedIn, type it in, find them, go to their LinkedIn profile. What you are doing here is you are doing recon. You are looking at the role they're in, how long they've been in that role, have they been promoted while they've been at the company, where were they previously? Do you have that in common with any of them? Have you both come from a similar place? Have you worked at the same place? Where do they go to school? Do you share an alma mater? What about interests? Do you share any interest or causes? Like if they have causes and it's animal activism or animal rights or the environment or whatever it is. What you're looking for is commonalities, because what you'd like to do is find things you can specifically mention that show them that you have things in common. People like that. So first things first, do reconnaissance, find out information about the people, write it down, and know who you are talking to before you go into it so you are prepared to ask them questions specific to them and ask, and bring up different things that you have in common when appropriate. Don't make it awkward, but it's a good way to build rapport. And if you can build rapport with your future teammates while you are interviewing with them, that gives you a huge advantage. Next thing I want you to do is prepare specific questions for each and every one of them. So it is one thing to go into an interview and have no questions. Bad. It is another thing to go into an interview and have good questions. Good. But it's a really powerful thing to come in and have specific questions based on the backgrounds of the people you're gonna be interviewing with. Best. If you can go to them and say, Bill, I was looking at your LinkedIn profile and I've noticed that prior to being in your current role, you were actually in a different part of the organization. How did that come about? And what has been your experience switching verticals within the company? That is just an example. You don't have to use that exact one, but do you see what I did there? What it shows is not only did you do your research, not only do you have an interesting, intriguing question to ask them, but it allows them to talk about their experience and themselves. I guarantee you that's a differentiator, but do not do it for one person. Do it for every person. And if there's someone on that team who is the most junior, say there's a bunch of senior people and one junior person, do yourself a massive favor. Do not ask questions to the first 3 and neglect that last person. That person matters too. So a big key here is have great questions, but also bring some customized questions to the people you know you are going to be talking to. I guarantee you, if you do this, you will absolutely stand out as a really compelling, well-researched, qualified, awesome candidate. And you absolutely want all of that. You know what people like? People like it when their teammates help them. So when you are in your interview, one of the things you might want to do is when you're answering the barrage of interview questions that you're getting from multiple people, you want to give examples of times where you've gone above and beyond to help your teammates. Now, you don't want to be too obvious with this, right? You don't want to be, hey, I'd like to give you an example of a time where I helped a teammate because I can help you. I would be willing to help you. You don't want to do that. You want to make it more subtle than that. But if they're saying, Ben, give me an example of a time you went above and beyond. You could say something like, well, I was in my role and I noticed that one of my teammates was having difficulty with a new client because that client was very demanding and we weren't able to serve them because of some of the restraints with our business or constraints in our business. So what I did was I went over and I asked them what I could do. And we worked together to develop a game plan to meet the client's expectations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You see what I did there though, right? I gave them an example. I answered their interview question, but I incorporated being a good teammate. What you did there was you showed them, guess what, everybody? You want to hire a good future teammate? Well, you found him, homeboy, it's me. I think this is a really, really powerful move. I don't think people do it enough, but if you know you are interviewing with your future teammates and you don't give them a sample of the type of teammate you can be by calling on historical things that you've done in the past, I just think it's a missed opportunity. So think about examples that you can share in an interview that would demonstrate you being a great teammate. Now, the last tip I'm going to give you is I want you to think about certain things you can say. Certain things you can say that would obviously resonate with future teammates. So saying things like, I'm of the belief that we're all working towards common goals. When I'm on a team, it's not about one person, it's about the whole and it's about the unit. So I really believe in working together so that we can hit those team metrics. Or things like, I found you can learn a lot from anybody. I've been in roles where I'm senior and there are junior people on the team, but they have a perspective I don't, and they have information that I don't have access to. So I think it's really important to partner with people because then not only can I help them become a more well-rounded professional, but they can help me by giving me information I didn't have access to. Again, sometimes I get a little bit wordy, but you get what I'm saying. That's another thing where if they hear that, they can go, oh wow, this sounds like a person who values other people's opinion. They're probably a good teammate. Or you could say something like, when they say, Ben, what would you miss about your current role if you leave? Well, it's an obvious thing, right? Well, you know what I really miss? I really miss my current teammates. We have a really good working relationship. We have a really fun environment. And I've just really thrived in our team where we share projects, we work together, we're really collaborative. And I feel like that is something that I really enjoy. Something like that. But you can show them that you care about that stuff. Because if you care about your team, you care about your teammates, one can only reasonably assume that if you come to their team and it's a good environment, you will feel the same way. So saying some of these statements, again, I'll go over them again, but I'm someone who believes in working towards common goals. Or I found you can learn something from just about anybody. Or the thing I'll miss most about my current position is my current team. Things like that are things that your future teammates, when they hear it, it'll click. This person's probably going to be a pretty good teammate. And you do want them reaching that conclusion. Well, there you go. That's everything I wanted to cover today. Good luck in your next interview. You got this.